So I think one thing is that the whole mutual fund industry expected a lot of things to come out of this budget in terms of long-term capital gains tax and STT probably removed and some of the other things. But it didn't really come. That was a bit of a dampener, and you saw the markets reacting that day. Again, the dividends are going to be taxed in the hands of investors, and not mutual funds will not have to pay that. So it's not that much of a change or a difference to a mutual fund industry. It actually might be a little better because they don't have to pay taxes, and people who are not paying in the highest bracket taxes, they will probably benefit from the lower taxes, because first they were paying 20% taxes and 29% taxes in the debt fund, but now they'll be taxed at their tax brackets, and the people in the lower brackets would actually benefit from this. People obviously in the higher brackets will not. Yeah, so actually that was one of the other expectations of the budget, that they will increase the limit of ATC to probably 2 lakh, 2,50,000, but obviously that didn't also happen. And in fact, now with the dual tax system where a person can choose what they want to do, they can actually get the exemptions, or they can go for the lower taxation and have more money, more cash in hand. I think people in the lower tax bracket might go for the newer regime because they will want more cash in hand. One of the things that the fund industry also wanted was the limit of ATC to increase from 1,50,000 to 2,50,000. Obviously, that didn't happen, and they've come out with the two tax regime, where you can choose the new regime where you pay lower taxes and have more cash in hand, but you can't take any exemptions, or you can stay with the same regime and have the exemption. I think people in the lower end of the taxation bracket might choose the newer option, or the first time taxpayer will probably choose the new regime where they will have more cash in hand. But people in the middle taxation brackets or the higher taxation bracket, I think they will stay with the existing tax regime where they can get the exemption. Again, some calculations were done where it probably makes sense to stay with the existing regime. So I think there could be some change in the lower end. Also, people will not want to keep changing the tax regime, because again it's lethargy and too much operationally, maybe it could be a little tough for them. So they might just stay with the new regimes, with the old regime. So I think most people will stick with the old regime. Typically, what we've seen is that again, a fund house who like us, who doesn't have too much of a brand name or a retail presence, it takes about 3 years to build a track record. So I was fine that for the next 3 to 5 years we'll go slow, and we'll need to just build up our track record. And if our performance is good, I think after 3 to 5 years we'll see these funds really take off. We've had this experience in our flagship scheme. But the first 3 to 5 years, people are reluctant probably to sell us. We obviously don't have a big retail presence or a big distribution network. So for a fund house like us, I think it's all about performance. It's all about doing the right thing, communicating very transparently, and trusting the process. And after 3 to 5 years, I think that's when you see some of the funds flowing to us. So right now the plan is a bit of expansion in terms of branches. We want to reach out to more people. Today our customer base is about 1,75,000, 1,80,000 is kind of where this customer base is. A lot of the customers are from the metros. So one thing we've realized is that we need feet on street in the metros. Like we just in the last 6 months we started operations in Bangalore, Pune and Delhi, and going forward we'll have it in other metros like Hyderabad, Chennai, Ahmedabad, Calcutta. So that's the plan, is that work with these funds that we've got. I don't think we have any plans of launching new schemes or new funds. I think the time we will launch a new fund or we'll launch a new scheme is when we are ourselves excited to put in money into that scheme, and we can have a differentiation in that scheme. I mean, I don't think I will want to just start a run-of-a-mill scheme where there is no differentiation. So right now is we concentrate on the basket that we have right now, which is the long-term equity fund, the liquid fund, and a tax saver, and expand our presence in a lot of the cities. And that's kind of where the plans are for the next year.